Uh, okay. Well, if I sound good, then we can
Okay.
You sound
finally
okay right
proceed.
now.
Goodness.
Okay. We'll stop
All
and
right.
let you do the intro. Okay, reset.
All right. So,
All
hello,
right.
everyone. Today, we're going to be reviewing SAO Progressive, the movie. This is actually the first time since Corner is reviewing an anime with us.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Matt has been with us for
Yeah.
the Demon Slayer reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so let's talk about it since we just saw it. So this movie is more it takes place basically just before the start of the show itself.
Right.
But it's more of Asana's perspective, and we get to see what she was doing right around the time the whole shit show happened. And it follows her and her best friend as she's training to survive this situation. However, things ended up happening. And then we kind of end up getting to see just stuff that happened in the first season. But then after that, it kind of leaves it with another part to come later. And that's pretty much the plot. We just see Asuna develop as a character through this.
Right. Definitely
We never
quite a
saw
bit of character
her.
development.
Yeah, we never saw her. Like episode 2 of the first season, we saw her in the hood and all that. See, it was like a time skip right there. This shows the progression when they're stuck throughout most of November up until, I guess, close to December. So I thought it was interesting with that. Asuna got more character time, to be honest. But the new character was literally just made for this show. Not even in the manga, not even in the light novel, none of that. She was just inserted in, which to me, when it comes to the plot and the timeline, it kind of starts to shake a little bit because
messes it up a little, doesn't it?
Because
I didn't
now,
remember her.
Because now we're having almost like an alternate route a little bit with how things go. And I will get to the comparisons in a sec. But what do you guys think of the plot?
I think Matt's trying to figure out his technical issues. I was waiting for him to talk.
No. I was going to let you go first.
Oh, me.
Because
okay.
yeah.
Okay. I like the plot, but I think I was at a disadvantage because there was a lot about season 1 that I did not remember. I completely forgot when she and Kirito first met each other. I don't believe that was shown at all in the first season when he, like the first meeting in this movie. Was that actually shown in the first season? I don't remember that at all. I completely forgot that she had worn a hood in the show. And of course, I completely forgot about her friend. And then, of course, we find out that friend was never even in the first. She's never even in it at all. So what I wanted to ask was, in this movie, when it showed them encounter each other for the first time, did that happen in season 1? Because I don't remember.
No. What happened was in season 1, I think it was episode 2. It was more of when she's already in the hood. They're having that meeting.
The meeting where in the amphitheater.
That was in episode 2 of season 1, and she's already in the hood. And I would mention the comparisons. You could like tell they just redrew that entire scene because the whole part where she's eating the bread with him and the cream and stuff, that was like all in the first or second episode.
So that part was in the episode. I couldn't. There's so much I have forgotten. So much.
And then the whole fight scene in that dungeon was in that entire second episode of SAO.
You mean
they teamed up.
You mean the climax of this movie?
That was in episode 2. They fought that creature, and the guy in the spoiler alert, I guess he died, which that's what happened in the show itself. So even the opening is like guaranteed to be all redrawn just from Asuna's perspective.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I felt that was kind of pretty interesting, except the only thing you're getting now with the whole alternate thing with the timeline is her friend. just
Stuff that
inserted in
stuff
there.
that's been added. Yeah.
Yeah, she was never in this, but we do get an explanation on how Asana's hairstyle is in the very back.
Exactly, and how she became so good at fighting.
Fighting, because
I
see, in the sorry, go ahead, or would you rather me?
I lost my train of thought. You go right ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, because episode 2, like episode 1, the whole chaos at the beginning. Okay, I think in episode 2, it was, by that point, it was like a time skip because she's already in the hood. All that.
Right. So this is
And that's
all
when
that stuff like in between.
This is like in
showing
between
her journey. Like it shows how she gets in the game in the first place. And then so the stuff from the amphitheater to the final battle. Wait, in the amphitheater, she had already met Kirito. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. Like they're showing everything, obviously everything that happens with her up until she goes to the amphitheater meeting. And then stuff that happens between that point and the big battle at the end. Yeah. And something that I was noticing when I was watching this, well, okay, number one, I thought the voice acting was great. I do prefer dub English voices for animation shows, because I was telling you when we were leaving the theater, it's much easier to accomplish than in live action. It's easier to buy into, right? Because it's animated, so the mouths aren't always going to work perfectly. Yeah. But so and it sounded to me like the regular cast returned, all of them, from what I noticed. And also, I thought the animation was beautiful. I like the coloring. Definitely. I like the style. I always thought the animation was good in Sword Art Online, but like you said, if I compared the animation in the original, like the first season with this, I'm sure I would see a huge improvement. Yeah, because let's be real. It's been 10 years, like you said. It's almost 10 years. I mean, don't get me wrong. The quality in here is still good for a 2010s anime. It's just this is newer. Okay, we're in the 2020s. So, what's up, Mom? What were you gonna say? I did have one thing that stood out to me as what the heck, and there was no explanation for why. And I'm gonna okay. So we're venturing into spoilerish territory here. Not huge spoilers, just kind of getting into some detail as to what happened in a scene. And when she was in that fight with her friend, and those weird flower creatures with the big lips were coming after him. Yeah. And she wasn't supposed to kill this one with the fruit, right? Right. She was trying to stop, but why didn't she? It was like her sword acted on its own accord. That made no sense to me at all. It was the skill. There was no explanation. No, it was the skill she had. It pushes you forward when it glows. I get it now. I get it. I was Matt, I was like, what the heck? And then they never explained it. So I was like, ooh, what's going on? It's the momentum. It's toward. I get it. No, I get it. They play with it ending. I get it now. This is me because, this is me just being a gamer dum-dum, because I don't play these sorts of things. Well, so you do work on RPGs. You do work on RPGs. I don't work on RPGs. I work on books about RPGs. But Matt, which is funny, because when I started working on these books, the first thing I thought of was SAO. Yeah. So okay, go ahead. I was just gonna say, like Matt, what did you think? I liked it. I thought it was good. It flowed well, meaning it didn't have chunks missing. That was one thing with the SAO show that always got me, was there were, I know there's time skips and stuff, but there were like entire like plot points cut or moved or not explained, or they would go back to something later on and be like, hey, remember when this happened? And it wasn't in the first season. So I liked how the narrative like really kind of connected. And they do add in some of the manga characters and some of the other like smaller niche characters, even if they just have cameos. Okay. I'm talking about the girl at the ending.
Oh yeah, her.
Right. Her. I wondered if that's who you were referring to, and I had no idea who she was because I haven't read the manga.
She has a little bit more of a role in the manga, but it looks like what they did is they cut her role possibly out, put Miyu there in the beginning, and she's going to be bigger in like the second and third movie.
So wasn't she in the? I thought she was in the show.
She may have been. She may have been in like an episode as like a super small cameo.
Yeah, a cameo. I do remember her.
She had a little bit of a better role in the other manga.
Well, because she appeared like in episode 3. It's when he's with that group. Which, spoiler alert, that's the one where all of them got killed when they went in that dungeon, and he's talking to her around like a Christmas area, like there's a tree and stuff. I was saying that.
How do you remember these episodes? When I have
good memory. I have a good memory.
What the heck?
You got to thank dyslexics for having good memory.
Right. Well, there's
Matt and I.
Basically, this movie covers bits and pieces, or basically it covers the timeline of episode 1 and 2.
Yeah, right. That's pretty much all it was. Just showing Austin's perspective, which I think did a good job with expressing everything with her struggles. Mm-hmm. And you know, her friend, I would have assumed was going to hit, kick the bucket, but no.
That's exactly what I thought, but that did not happen.
Because if she wasn't around in the show, then she would have.
Right, exactly. I thought she was going to get killed before we were seeing all these other elements that we could remember from the show. Like, I do remember the amphitheater meeting. I remember that there was a big boss battle with a red creature at the end of that battle. But I just remember, I was like, I don't remember this girl. It must be she's going to die before Kirito comes in the picture and all this stuff. But no, she didn't. So I was like, oh, I really don't remember her at all on my memory. And then, of course, as Matt says, she's not even in the books. So
yeah.
Now, to be honest, I thought I had a memory where I think the next one will go, because I did read one of the mangas, because I thought after they beat that boss, they go on a whole other adventure, which the second movie will cover. But yeah, animation was top notch, really very detailed at points. Obviously, it's going to surpass the show because, it's 10 years old by this point. It's kind of adapting more of the season 3 art style. Okay. I would think.
Season 3 was the Gungel arc, right?
No, that's when he's in like another world.
Season 2 Gungel?
That's season 2. Yeah, that's season 2.
Okay.
Season 3.
I don't think I saw all of season 3.
You watched a bit of it. It's when he's fighting some goblins with the blonde-haired kid.
A little bit. I definitely don't remember much about it.
Alice.
Oh yeah, Alicization or something like that. Yeah, right. Now I remember I was like, I don't like this. I'm out. So I couldn't watch it.
She jumped ship.
But I did. I jumped ship because Kirito was getting to be a boring character to me because
he's a bit of a Mary Sue. Oh, Mary Sue.
He didn't feel completely like that in this one.
No.
Not to be honest, but I was gonna.
It was kind of nice to see these characters on the big screen again, because I remember when we went to see the first movie, it was like almost 4-something years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And nice to see these characters again on the big screen. So that was nice. Yeah, like Kirito, I don't like, to be honest, they're kind of going back to the first show, where I think he was a little bit better in the first season than he started to kind of get to the point. Yes,
I agree. That's why the first season to me is the best.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed season 1. But I was going to ask you, you made a prediction as to where you thought this movie was going to end. You said, I think it's going to be where it's going to go through this particular battle you mentioned. Is that the one that you were thinking that it was going to end?
That was the battle, yeah. Mm-hmm. It was a whole recreation of the second episode battle.
Okay.
All of it in detail. Yeah. Matt, do you have anything else to add?
Not really. The one thing I would have to check if this was the intended design, but the first enemies you see in the beta test, the lizard people, may have been the lizard people Kirito was fighting in the the way with the first novel. Because the first novel starts off with him fighting lizard people, and then it reverses back, and then it goes back to that, and then starts the rest of the story.
Yeah. I
just thought that was interesting. Even if they're not the same design, it's interesting to see those enemies.
I read a bit of the light novel, yeah.
Might have been a little bit of an homage to it.
Yeah. And I did check the girl. She is in episode 3, and she's in the Holofragment game. So she does show up.
Wow, I don't remember.
You mean the girl? You mean the
one at the end?
Yep.
Oh,
The one at the end.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
She's even in a Lost Song. That one, I have that. But yeah, now I do want to jump to the new character. Would you say she had also a pretty good character development? We kind of got to know her a bit, even though she's new. But since she's just this character that's inserted, she's kind of there.
No.
Okay, I didn't feel like there was a lot of character development with her. Go ahead, Matt, because there was some stuff I was wanting to say about her, and I don't want to. No, you go ahead.
She merged well for the story. It's a lot better than what they did with the way the anime works, because the anime is basically part 1 is book 1 and book 2 smashed together. So you get these weird episodes where this one blacksmith girl just randomly shows up. She's in a few background, but she's now a main character. Or you get the little girl with the dragon, and it's one episode. She doesn't really do anything for the rest of that whole 16 episode arc. Or the whole murder mystery plot. It kind of goes somewhere, but it doesn't really go anywhere. With her, at least they were able, when they did insert her, if you know what to look for, you know where they did add her in, but it works. It wasn't really, this doesn't make any sense. It made sense.
She didn't mess up anything because I was thinking to myself, well, I knew that Kirito finished off the final boss in that part. So for her, she's kind of there, sort of intertwined with that whole timeline part, but at least it didn't affect it in some way. He still
didn't change the original final outcome.
Yeah,
in other
because
words,
because in the original, Asuna and Kirito they pretty much beat that thing up, and then I think Kirito did finish him off. But what were you gonna say, Cyn, about
her? I felt like I feel like obviously she served an important purpose to help sort of guide Asuna's character development along. But I felt like it almost seemed like they were hinting at a bit of a deeper type of relationship going on with him.
That's what I thought.
I was definitely getting those vibes. It never really went there, but I was feeling like this feels like it's undertones of that. But another thing that I thought was kind of odd, it's not necessarily odd or bad, but just that's a strange relationship they had. And it was at the beginning when it shows this girl, what was her name? She called her Mito in the game, right? But what was her real name? I forgot her name. Her friend.
It started with a T. I thought
I thought it started with an M.
Something.
Yeah, it was an M. It was like Mito.
I'll just call her Mito. Her game
Mito.
name was Mito, but she had some other name. Anyway, Mito. So it was almost like Austin. So she, in the real world, she's this great gamer. That's why she's so good in the game. So explains that's why she's such a badass in the game, because she had just been gaming for years, which makes sense. But it was like she was a social outcast in a way, because she was always alone. And Asuna had her little group of friends. And Asuna was friends with her, but when she was with her friends, she almost acted like the other girl didn't exist. But then when nobody else was around, then they were bosom buddies. And it was just I thought that was really odd, that Asuna would act that way. She just acted almost not necessarily snobbish, but it's why don't you openly acknowledge her and hang out with her when all your other friends are around? Why are you just not mingling with her when you only do it when people are gone?
I
I
could
thought that was strange.
Oh no!
I could kind of explain that.
Here we go.
Those parts in the manga, she wasn't in the manga. So what they try to do is they try to recreate scenes from the manga
Yeah, I
and
guess.
try to smash this new character in. So
Yeah,
either you
into
have to
story.
rechange every scene and have a new person in there,
Right.
or she's antisocial. Look, we still have the same scene. She's just in
Yeah.
the background. That's
Yeah.
because some of those girls do show up in the manga as well.
Mm.
So I think it was them not trying to mess with the scenes, but add in a new character. That's how I got it. That's why Asuna's personality kind of just it's sword art when it mixes like 3 contents together, it doesn't always mix well.
Mhm.
Okay, I was just wondering. I just thought that was odd because Asuna didn't seem like she was someone that was snobbish, but yet at the same time, it was like she seemed like she was bordering on that when she wouldn't acknowledge her friend. I was like, that's really what a strange relationship they have.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless she's just
But,
she's just too antisocial. She doesn't want to be around Asuna's friends while she's hanging out with them.
Could be,
Only
could
until
be. And then Asuna doesn't want to abandon her friends to go hang out with the other girl. So maybe that was just there goes Aurelia. I asked her to remove the
Sonic
dog's
the
water.
Hedgehog.
Mhm.
Oh, speaking of Sonic, did you hear that Idris Elba is going to do Knuckles with a Cockney accent? Oh, jeez.
Yes.
And that Chris Pratt is not going to do not going to use an Italian accent for Mar. I think that's silly. Come on.
I told him about that. Yeah.
It could work. Look at
Idris
like the
Elba knows how to
1990s
speak
Mario.
American. He's done it before. Why are they doing that? That's silly. Okay, that's completely off topic, but you brought up
it
Sonic,
is
so
definitely.
that real.
I only did it because she likes Sonic, you know.
She was like running real fast. Yeah.
Makes it funny.
Okay, so all right, so yeah.
But I mean, to me, I felt like she at least I kind of liked the whole thing with how she acted at that moment where a specific thing happening where she couldn't get to Asuna and Asuna was in danger, and then her humanity kicked in, which I could see that because there's been
her humanity.
Well, the humanity aspect, the fear that's a humanity. That's a human. Wouldn't I say it's a more of a humanity thing where there are people that just are too like they kind of.
I wouldn't consider that like humanity is like when you were trying to help.
Yeah.
Okay, then it's more of the human nature.
It's fight or flight.
Yeah, fight or flight, exactly. Yeah, and you could tell that bothered her. I wondered if it was going to lead to some sort of really terrible conflict, but that's not where it went. I mean, it would seem out of character if it did.
Yeah.
But obviously, it was something that she felt very guilty about, and that damaged Asuna to a little, not really damaged, but kind of scarred her a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
she's a little bit hesitant to team up with Kirito. Now, when they teamed up in the amphitheater, did that happen in the show?
Yep,
did it happen that way?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's what I liked with that, like, human nature aspect. When you're at that danger point, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna react?
Do you sacrifice yourself, or do you flee?
Do you flee? And there have been things like that have happened throughout history. I mean, you're too scared,
Yeah.
And then, but the worst part comes after the fact that you just fled,
Yeah.
And so that's what I liked. That's what I liked about that portion when it came to her character, was that she was in a guilt trip from part of it.
I also felt like it was a little. It stretched your sense of disbelief a little bit too much of how long Asuna hung in there without actually dying. Her bar was like at critical for the longest time, and she never died. And I would have thought you would have been dead by now. So I had a little bit of an issue with that particular
safety
scene.
features
and then
on the
creature.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
He didn't want
creature
everybody to
never
die
even biting her, and it was like she was right there in its jaws, and it never did anything. Really
low level. It was
okay.
low level. They actually do explain that in one of the episodes. When you get to a higher level, you start auto healing yourself. That's the thing with Kirito.
But it wasn't acting like that. She wasn't auto healing.
Um,
She kept blinking on critical like she was about to blink out of existence any moment.
well, she did
and
also.
She was still getting bashed around and hit. And I mean, by that point I would like, okay, the next hit's going to kill her. I mean, I knew that wasn't going to happen because we know it doesn't, but I felt like that was just a little bit, okay, you're pushing it a little bit too much. So I think they should have nudged her health bar up a little bit more.
Yeah, they could have done that. That's probably maybe one small minor thing there with that.
No, it wasn't enough to make me just. And something I was thinking when we were watching the movie is, so I enjoyed season 1 a whole lot. Mm-hmm. I wasn't crazy. Because season 2 was well, I enjoyed the first arc of season 1. I did not enjoy the fairyland stuff. That was just dumb. I didn't like that. And Gungale, okay, but then by the time season 3 came along, I sort of lost my. I'm kind of over this. But what I was thinking is, I feel like the movies are, and I've seen the two movies. I feel like they were better.
Yeah, I would agree because I remember watching Ordinal Scale and I actually thought it was
I like that.
Great because it's weird. It's like the show has more time to build things up, but for some reason it's got issues where it's either too slow or it's got not great writing. You know? It's like, how is that possible? Usually movies only have a certain amount of time to fill in something. You know, you can only put but so much. And yet, for online, the movies are usually better.
Mm-hmm.
Is Kirito as much of a Mary Sue in the books as he seems to be in a lot of the
It's a little different. It's the first book is really well written with the character. Like it's hard to explain. Like it's all in first person, it's all from his perspective. So like he's powering up, like with him getting stronger, it's all from his perspective. What starts becoming a problem with Kirito is when they get into like book 2, and part of it's in first person, when it's like him and like Asuna. They both have like first person chapters, and then like Liz's chapter is third person.
I see.
So it's and they just do that because they're hoping people will like put themselves into Kirito.
Okay.
You know, it's that bland, you know, ooh, if he could do this, I could imagine myself as doing that.
Right. Okay. Well, I haven't read them. You're referring to manga, right? Or are you referring to actual novels?
There's light novels. There are a series. The Fairy Dance both get 2 light novels.
Which makes no sense.
I did not like that one at all. It was like, man, the show got started off so good. So when I think of season 1, I only think of the Ironclad.
The first 16 episodes.
I mean,
it's called, wait, is it called Ironclad? Is it called Ironclad? What's it called?
Ironclad.
Okay, that was.
Okay, the only thing at the time when I was younger, I was like what 17 when I was watching this. So I had a smaller brain, but see, the thing that stuck with me, at least with season, like the second part of the first season, I liked the aspect where he had to save Asuna. That was like the only thing that kept me intrigued, but then other people don't like it.
It weakens her.
No, she went, I don't know.
I was more intrigued of him trying to save her like the whole time, but I could agree.
I just thought it was a dumb storyline.
It wasn't.
I did not like it at all.
Oh, and you guys haven't watched the TV movie, the recap movie. There is. It's called Sword Art EX. It's a recap of the Aincrad arc. It takes place after the Aincrad and after the other issue, but they're recapping the entire thing. Kirito's giving his account. So a good 60 minutes of the movie is just recapping the entire Aincrad and the second arc. And then it goes into a beach arc for like 20 minutes, and then it goes into a filler arc.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't interested to see it, but just because it's.
I could let you borrow it if you want.
Oh no! This is another thing to add to his list of things to bring up against you. Cats, Star Wars.
No, this is more Sword Art, and it is canon. It is canonical before Gun
Is
Gale.
it good?
It's, from what I've
Okay.
seen, it's just kind of the filler fairyland. Second, I could say the second season, the first arc was fine, but it was kind of slow and here and there. I mean, Death Gun's pretty cool.
That girl in the second season was annoying. I did not like her. Yeah, did not like her.
And as much as I'm not crazy about the fairyland, I will admit, okay, the third arc had the biggest issue when it came to AIDS with that girl. Okay.
Wait, was this season 3?
This was arc 3 of the second season. The whole depressing arc.
Wait. Oh, wait. I
Mother
didn't see
Rosario.
that. I didn't see that part.
That was...
Yeah.
You know the ghost that appeared in Ornal Scales who helped Asuna?
No, I completely.
Purple hair, long purple hair, purple.
That was that the girl that had died. Is this the one that was done by the voice actress that talked about how hard it was when they filmed that scene and someone in her family had, or her dog or something had died and she was crying?
Yeah.
When they filmed that? Okay.
Yeah.
I never saw that story arc.
Okay, it is depressing, but the issue, I would say it's better than the second arc just because of Asuna's development. She had a lot of development in that.
And they shaft Kirito completely.
They shaft Kirito. And, the whole Yuki thing with her, but it was very sad. But the problem with that is what she had that was killing her was AIDS. For all things.
Cancer would have made more sense, honestly.
It's very sad, though. Very sad. Some people kind of like the voice director who also I listened to one of those Toonami Faithful podcasts. He was talking about how he lost his dad in front of him. That was just a whole depressing thing. And to be honest, them going to see her, all these players, it's kind of relevant to a gamer that died, and they all came in this video game to the memorial thing for him. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue was the disease.
Yeah, that was
2026.
I remember you telling me that. I'm like, wait, what? That's just what that cancer. Yeah, I think that would have been the better one to pick because that one just didn't make any sense to me at all. Well, no, I never saw that arc.
Well, if you guys have time, it's only 12 episodes. Go for the Gun Gale OVA, the one with the other girl. There's a side series to this Sword Art where it has a girl. She's really tall. Your dog
chewing on something.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
It's fine.
But it's called Gun Gale, and you may like that one.
It's mostly just the Call of Duty sort of world. It's these 3 new characters, and it looks. I haven't even seen it yet, but I would like to watch it.
The only connection to the original is if you go with the first manga. There's one part where when she's picking the game, she goes into what is Alpine, and she almost looks like Asuna in the manga, but they cut that out of the anime. When she's selecting characters, because apparently in Sword Art you have to randomize all your characters.
Okay.
But anyways, overall, I actually really enjoyed this film. I thought it was a pretty good balanced film. Maybe tiny specks of minor issues, but it's going to be expected. I mean, not everything's going to be perfect. So to conclude, I actually think, to me, when it came to the first season, some people had issues where, they rushed the time, or they rushed. I felt like they rushed Asuna and Kirito's relationship. I feel like people didn't notice the time skip. They could have known each other, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
At least this film kind of gives you more depth with them. And, the next part will probably give us even more depth.
Yeah. Because this is a part 1, if we didn't mention.
Yeah.
This is a part 1. And also, interestingly enough, when part 2 comes out, it will be taking place in the same time frame when the actual original series happened. 2020.
Unless part 2 is part of the 2-year time skip, and it takes place during 2024.
Oh, that's right.
Well, we might get a glimpse of both, possibly, but to me, I think I have more appreciation for the first season, even more that they kind of fleshed more of this thing out. But the only downside people are probably going to say is that, well, inserting the new character and doing some little things here, they're following more of the progressive manga. Or is it a light novel too, Matt?
It's
or
both.
is it just okay? It's both.
And those are more inclined that they can connect with the original series. This one kind of can't because of the new character. You have to kind of go and say, "Oh, she's never shown up during all of these other major events."
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, but in general, if you want, like that's the thing. That's kind of what's hard about this movie. I like that you're seeing more of Asuna's perspective. I mean, we already got Kirito's, but even the show kind of, time skipped. At least with this, you see what was going on during this few weeks after that whole chaos. But the downside is that whether you can really insert it somewhere in the timeline because of that new character. But other than that, though, I personally enjoyed it, and it gave me more of appreciation for the first season. And I just think they did a pretty good job with it. So I would say it's very good.
Yep.
And there's nothing at the end, so don't stay. Not worth
Nope.
staying.
Just if you want to see a light get turned off, then that's about it.
I'm going to look in on that because that may actually be a little bigger than what we're thinking.
Maybe, but
What do you mean?
I'm kind of hoping it's what I'm hoping it is. There was a whole subplot they never explained with the every time they would be a floor up, a bottom floor would open.
Oh, okay.
And what I'm really hoping is we get some weird cut in one of the movies where we actually start exploring the bottom areas. Because a few people did in it, and we never got an explanation on what was going on.
Okay.
So that's my personal hope. That we get, like, maybe there won't be 3 movies, there will be, like, 3 movies and then an extra side movie explaining some of that.
well, yeah,
I
then
guess we'll find out.
Kibao.
Yeah.
You always had an issue with Kibao.
Oh, yeah, he just randomly is name dropped halfway through with Yui. And they cut that. I think they cut that from one of the mangas. Completely.
Okay, but he had a little bit of a bigger role.
He had a bigger, but see, that's the thing. That's when he had a role. My issue with the character isn't that. It's when he gets name dropped, running around controlling that army. This is like 3 years in the future, and we never see him again.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say if people that really like SAO, they'll really enjoy this. If you're more like us, where we liked only the first season, this would definitely be the thing to watch.
Yeah, that was why I was interested to watch it. If it was going to take place in Fairyland, I would have just sat out in the lobby and worked with my computer.
That may be the second group of movies.
Gosh, if it is, I don't know. I just don't know
No,
about
let's
that,
not go there.
I think Progressive has at least 7 or 8 light novels. So
okay.
No, that's when we'll probably drop it. Unless I want to torture myself, I'd rather probably torture myself with that than watch Cats. That Matt tries to get me to see. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Have a good night.